3 steps to provide clarity in chaos. Let's break it down. My name is Kevin. I'm with Pinnacle Pursuits. I'm here today to just kind of clarify a few things for those of us that get stuck in decisions or not knowing what kind of decisions to make, or we have a decision to make but we can't move forward from it. I'm here to fix all that. This is the thing, when it comes to trying to make a decision and you don't know where to go with it, most people don't have a decision problem. This is the first thing to know, okay? They have a noise problem. Now, that is kind of profound when you actually think about it, right? Noise problem versus a decision problem. People say, oh, I don't know what to do. No, it's a noise problem. Everything that's around, everything that's distracting you is keeping you from making whatever decision that you need to make. Like, chaos is made up of stuff like fear. You also have other people's opinions, right? You're afraid of what people are going to think. Let's say you do step out and you do make that decision to move forward with whatever. People might have, something to say about it. A lot of times though, those people who have something to say, they're not doing anything to themselves. The other thing is, you get in your own head, you always think of worst case scenario. Well, instead of thinking about a positive outcome or thinking, hey, if I do make this decision, I might actually make progress. No, you think of everything that could possibly go wrong, right? The last thing that I would point out at this point is overthinking. Look, you can sit here all day. I could sit in this chair all day and think about what decision needs to be made or what I need to do. That won't profit me anything because there's no action involved, but we'll get to that later. You got to kind of decide or figure out what the next move is for you. So there's 3 steps to find clarity, if I have some type of framework to find clarity in this chaos, right? First step would be separate the facts from fear. In the end, whatever decision that you have to make has some factual information in it. For instance, like if my truck broke down, right? Well, okay, my truck broke down, it needs to be fixed. That's the fact. What story am I adding to it? Like, I won't have any transportation, or it's going to cost $1 million or whatever. That's the story you're adding to it. That's where the fear comes from. What I would say, step 2, is identify the real decision, right? Sometimes chaos hides the actual choice, right? Because of the fear and because of the overthinking and all that other stuff, you don't even think enough to yourself what the choice actually is. So when you identify the actual choice, you have to name the decision that actually matters, right? So what's your choice is? Okay, well, my car's broken down. I need to get it fixed. Fact, right? What are my choices? I could take it to a mechanic. I could fix it myself, or I could just let it sit. Those are your choices, all right? So the thing is, those choices are hidden in all that chaos that you had, that you got. Step 3, okay? Choose the direction that creates movement, not comfort, but movement. What out of those 2 or out of those 3 things I need to do, what do I base my decision on? What's creating movement? If you're afraid that mechanic's going to cost you a bunch of money and all this other stuff, you're going to procrastinate. You're not going to call them. You're not going to want to reach out. You're not going to do it. Just keep it 100, right? And you know that you don't have the choice. The choice that's not a choice is to not fix it at all. The only choice, operative choice, at least from the beginning, is, man, I need to probably work on my car. Now, you may not be in a mechanic or whatever, but whatever you need to do, you'll take action to get it done. Go on YouTube, find out, that every answer is on YouTube. At the very least, look at the car to find out what needs to be done. So choose a direction that actually creates movement, because movement creates momentum, and clarity is less about certainty and more about momentum. Once you get momentum, let's say that you can't totally fix the truck, whatever, or the car or whatever, but you get out there, you do what you can. You've already started the process. Now you know, oh wait, this is what's going on with it. Okay, this is not something I can fix. Well, now you know what your next decision is. Now, the one that you procrastinated on because you were afraid that it would be too expensive, now at least you know why the car is broken down. You can call the mechanic and tell him, hey, this is what's going on, these are my symptoms, and this is what I did thus far, and it still won't work. Do you have an idea of what it is and how much it will cost? See, at that point, at least now you got the ball rolling. So now when you speak to the mechanic, it won't be such a shock because you know that that is your next step. Okay? So again, say it one more time. Clarity is less about certainty and more about momentum. Get it started. Those are the three things that would get you going. Okay? You follow those things, you follow those steps. They seem super simple. You think, oh, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, but you know what? Everything in life boils down to a decision, right? And the thing is, when it boils down to a decision, you don't know what decision to make. These three steps will help you make that decision. All right, so check this out. This is something that I'm going to do, just kind of something to help you kind of work through it, right? You need a little help, you know, trying to work through these decisions and stuff like that. Feel free to DM me on my Instagram. The link will be in the description. Also, be on the lookout for my book, Built for the Comeback, for those of us who, you know, have faced life and we're learning how to build ourselves back and become successful after 40. And this is for anybody, but especially for those of us that are 40. I'm Kevin. This is Pinnacle Pursuits. Peace.